I can see it in your eyes. I can see you a little bit upset, a little deterred. But guess what?
I'm here.
It's here. You're here.
I'm a Raven. It's on. All year. Every year. Yes, sir.
What are they getting?
Everything out of me. They're going to get a Super Bowl out of me.
Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is definitely one of the most polarizing figures in all of sports, ladies and gentlemen. And he's been looking incredible this season, which is the reason why I am talking about him today. He is an MVP. He led the league in passing touchdowns before. He led the league in QBR before back in 2019. He was an MVP out of college. Was a Heisman winner out of college. Even after winning MVP, the doubters were still on him. I remember after the draft or before the draft, scouts were saying that they should change his position to wide receiver or running back. He stayed at quarterback. In fact, he didn't even participate in a 40-yard dash in college, just so teams wouldn't change him to a quarterback. Just so teams wouldn't change him to a running back. So, he's definitely been super polarizing ever since he got drafted. In 2018, he steps in for Joe Flacco. They come back and make it to the playoffs. They go 6-1 with Lamar Jackson as a starter. 2019, that's the breakout year. 13-2, definitely was the best quarterback in football that year. Led the league in passing touchdowns. Gave you about 1,200 rushing yards as well. 2020. This was a COVID year, pretty weird year for everybody, but they still managed to go 11-4 with, I would say, less talent from the year before in 2019. Now we get to 2021. Lamar Jackson, he gets injured in 2021. They are 7-4 with him healthy. In games that he started and finished, they were 7-4. He was looking like, again, one of the best quarterbacks in the league that year. Just wasn't healthy. 2022, same thing again. They go 8-3 in games that Lamar starts and finished. He gets injured. Lamar is a winner. You talking about 6-1, 13-2, 11-4, 7-4, and 8-3. And so far this season, he is 5-2. I'm pretty sure he has the highest quarterback win percentage out of all the quarterbacks in the league right now, besides Brock Purdy. Because Brock Purdy's been winning a lot. But yeah, so Lamar Jackson, man. Lamar Jackson currently sits at number 2 in quarterback rating, I think behind Brock Purdy. He's about top 12 in yards, and he's definitely up there in touchdowns. But when we look at that Ravens team, and we look at those wide receivers, and we look at the Dolphins team, for example, or even the Chiefs is definitely an exception. But if we look at the 49ers, for example, or even the Dallas Cowboys, these quarterbacks, or even look at Kirk Cousins that got Justin Jefferson. All these guys have premier receiving cores. I said this in my CJ Stroud video. Imagine Lamar Jackson. You gave him a real wide receiving threat. You gave him a deep threat. You had one of Marquise Brown. You traded him away, right? You traded Marquise Brown away, who was Lamar's boy, who Lamar did like, who was a 1,000-yard receiver. Marquise Brown did have dropping issues, which could be a huge reason on why they let him go. But nonetheless, he was a 1,000-yard receiver that was producing for Lamar, right? Right now, you have Odell Beckham Jr., who's not been looking as explosive as he used to be. He is about 30-something years of age, so that definitely comes with it. You have Rashad Bateman still on the team. These guys are not number one guys. Devin Duvernay. Zay Flowers had that dropping issue in that game. I think it was against the Steelers. Against the Steelers a few weeks ago. The whole team had that dropping issue. Nelson Aguilar has been known for a dropping issue, right? The Ravens, if I'm the Ravens right now, I am capitalizing on Lamar looking as good as he is looking right now as a passer. He's looking like one of the best passers in the league. There's not 10 guys right now in the league. If strictly passing, if we remove Lamar's running ability, in my opinion, Lamar would still be a top 10 quarterback. I don't think there's 10 guys that can throw the football right now better than Lamar, because he has an amazing arm. He can throw it really far down the field, has amazing throw power, and has been super accurate this year. Super accurate. He's completing 71% of his passes. That's Drew Brees type of completion percentage. 71% of your passes. That's more than 70% of your passes, ladies and gentlemen. Average is around 63 to 65. He's 7% above that. I'm capitalizing on this. I want to bring, if I'm the Ravens, bring in a real number one wide receiver. Right? You got T. Higgins, who's playing for the Bengals. That might be tough. I don't think the Bengals are going to want to trade with you. But maybe not even a number one wide receiver. I mean, Lamar Jackson has been your best running back on your team. He's been definitely your best player. But, I mean, he's giving you 1,000 rushing yards every single year that he's healthy. Every single year. Right? If we look at, his running backs that he's had on his team, I mean, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, he had Mark Ingram in 2019, who was good. But, I mean, these guys are not, so I think you guys are getting what I'm trying to say. These guys are not all that, right? If you have a guy like Saquon Barkley who can step in, right, from the Giants, right, who can sign him to a good contract extension, kind of like how the Panthers did with the 49ers. If you have a guy like Saquon Barkley, right, that is going to open up Greg Roman's offense immensely, and they're already looking unstoppable offensively. Now, their defense has been playing very well, but the Lions' defense was a top 10 defense, and they just got 38 lit up on them. Or was it 42? One of those two. And Lamar, I think, put up about 350 passing yards on them. I mean, those boys just looked unstoppable. What they did to that Lions team is absolutely sad. It's just sad. As anybody who's a Lions fan, I can't describe the amount of pain that you must be feeling, especially since you guys were about 5-1 going into that game, and you guys just couldn't get it done. Lamar killed y'all, but this is what Lamar does. He's a game changer. He is a game changer. That it's just in his nature, man. Lamar Jackson is a game changer. Which, like I said, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But yeah, they definitely need to be looking for a guy like Saquon Barkley. Bring in a guy like Jonathan Taylor. Bring in just another threat. That's what that offense needs. That offense needs a threat. Zay Flowers is good. Is he number one worthy? I'm not sure of him yet. I'm gonna assess him at the end of the season to see whether I think he can really be that number one guy for a team. That's definitely what they drafted him for. Odell Beckham hasn't really been that guy so far. Mark Andrews is still there, but we need an explosive guy. You need an explosive guy. The one time, I mean, the Chiefs are the one team in history that did it without an explosive guy, right? The Chiefs did it last year. They had Travis Kelce, who's the greatest tight end of all time. So, but Mark Andrews, he's not no Travis Kelce. He's a top 5 tight end in the league. But, you still need, like I said, the explosive guy. Even when they had Marquise Brown, I didn't like Marquise Brown. I didn't like that trade to trade him away. I didn't like it. But with that Ravens defense currently, they're my pick. Them and the Chiefs are the two teams are my two favorites to make it out of the AFC to meet the Eagles in the Super Bowl right now. Those two teams, the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs, are my two favorites right now. I don't know which one I want to pick. They're both in pretty much the same predicament. Both got two of the best quarterbacks in the league with no receivers, elite tight ends, and two of the best defenses in football right now. That's how both teams are looking like, So, I don't know which team yet. Probably I'm leaning towards the Chiefs. But yeah, Ravens, please, please, please capitalize on Lamar Jackson before the trade deadline happens. Capitalize. Bring in somebody. Bring in a guy like Saquon. Bring in a guy like Jonathan Taylor. T. Higgins, if he's on the block. I don't know what his trade status is looking like. Even a guy like Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith would be a great guy to bring in for Lamar. A guy like Devontae Smith, who are these great number twos? I don't think they're ever going to be able to get Jalen Waddle. I'm not going to expect that. A guy like Devontae Smith, a guy like T. Higgins, any of these number 2 receivers on stacked teams. If you can even bring in, I don't know how Brandon Ayuk is looking, but if you can, whatever you can trade for Ayuk, like who else are some great number 2s? Even a guy like, I like Michael Pittman a lot on the Colts. I don't think they're gonna give him up, but I even like him a lot. Darnell Mooney on the Bears, right? I don't know what his status is, but even a guy like him would be incredible to bring in. But the Ravens fans, you guys have something to look forward to. Lamar Jackson has definitely shut up the critics. Finally, in my opinion, he shut up the critics in 2019. But the critics haters gonna keep hating, and I don't hear the haters no more. I'll be quite frank. If you go look at the biggest news outlets of sports, these guys are not hating on Lamar Jackson anymore. They're saying that he deserved his money, and yes, he did deserve that money that the Ravens paid him. He deserved it, deserved every single penny. He's making it worth it. In my opinion, so far this year, he's an MVP candidate. He is an MVP candidate. He's entered himself into the MVP's discussions. You guys let me know down in the comment section below. Is he the MVP so far? Is it somebody else? Please let me know. Thank y'all for watching.